Boom. We are live and the direct with Nick and Crystal. How are you guys?
Very
Doing
good.
real good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. The nice weather is here. I'm better than good, better than most, and sometimes even better than that. So it can't get any better.
Yeah.
Today, I would like to start about astrology, but you know, like I was thinking about the whole thing on my bike before, and I'm like, what are we gonna start with and stuff? And astrology is something that really attracts me as a topic, okay? But I don't want to go into stuff that is written in books and stuff. Like I like to use intuition, observation. Like I've done a series with PT was observable astrology, the stuff we can observe and we can feel and sense and see. So that whole thing very much interests me. And I was like, there should be something called intuitive astrology. I didn't know it does exist, and people are very much into it. Like I just went on Google now and I punched the intuitive astrology and all kinds of stuff came up. Like, wow, it already exists. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's one of Nick's titles is an intuitive medical astrologer.
But that's it.
There you
So
go.
this whole part about intuition, and some of us also, depending on the signs and the time that you came into flesh here on earth, the stars might have effect on you. It does. It does have effect on the plants, on the moon has effect on everything. The sun. Look, we can't deny that this stuff up there has effect on us down here. If you deny that, you're completely disconnected from nature. And to me, that is part of nature, the stars. It's not because it's not anchored on the earth with roots like a tree that it's not part of nature. When I look up and I'm in nature, this whole realm above is still in nature. So it's natural for us to inquire about it. That's my point here. So, and inquire with intuition, most of it, and observation. So, I would like you guys to maybe make me grasp that whole idea, and at the same time, others that watch, of course. But because I'm not so much knowledgeable in all, me, I observe. I have fun observing and having intuition about it. But also, the other part of the stars is if we really focus on our birth chart and stuff like that, and the stars can show us the way to our higher self. I think the intuitive astrology, if I'm wrong, maybe bring us to a path where maybe we can find our higher self easier. If you're lost at sea, you're going to use the stars to guide you. As far as I'm concerned, we're all lost at sea here. So, unless you pretend not to be, I'm still lost at sea in confusion and all kinds of stuff. So, and we're all trying to find our way to the shore and have something stable and our feet in the sand and stuff. Yeah, it feels good. So, this part about finding our way also with astrology, I would like you to maybe extend on it. So, maybe we can take either sign by signs or make a big coverage of everything. And I don't know, one expose that you guys are going to do. Try to make me grasp a bit more what in the intuition I have about it and all that stuff that comes with it. So,
Yeah. Well, I guess I feel called to just share my own experience with astrology and how it has helped me truly know why I am here. Like I had an idea of why I was here, but then once I learned how to read a chart, then it was like a confirmation, like, okay, this is it. So I just need to keep moving forward with more confidence. It was a kind of a confidence booster for me, that confirmation
Music.
from the stars.
She's referring to music.
Yeah, music in particular for me. I have a bunch of stars or planets in the sign of Taurus, which is related to the throat, singing. I have Chiron there, which can bring a challenge in your life anywhere Chiron is placed. It's considered an asteroid, which, we don't know exactly if asteroids do exist, but that's what they call it in astrology. And he's essentially the wounded healer. So wherever Chiron's placed, it's where you are wounded. And then once you are ready and become aware, then you can heal through that. So for me, growing up, I've always loved to sing, but there's this hesitancy of just letting, my throat would feel tight. And I didn't know how to open it up. And that's kind of been my journey, is opening that throat chakra and singing.
Now, how do we come to know that, let's say, Jupiter is doing that effect on us, or Leo, or whatever it is, the constellation, or all this have to have effect on our life? Like, how can I relate to this without reading a book? Like, is there something I can observe, something I can feel about that old astrological stuff that
Well,
I
like I said, I always felt that. I always felt that throat tension. I still feel that throat tension. I didn't know why. I, growing up as a child, when I tried out for one of the bigger choirs in high school, it was like this wounding that I didn't make it, even though I knew I was a good singer. I was passionate about singing, but it was the anxiety of not being able to, feeling like I couldn't open my throat. And then I was wounded through that. So I didn't even know about astrology at that point. I was 14, 15, but I felt it. I had that experience.
That's what
What
I'm
do
saying. Now, if we look at ourselves, let's say we have some, like you said the other day, some people have more mucus than others, or experience certain stuff with their body. Now we can directly take this and go above and like make a link in between, or how do we, because where do we learn that stuff about the stars? That's my point.
Well,
Me, in all my
yeah, right.
research I do here, I always use scrutiny. And Arthur, Christian, that came here, that's one thing he taught me. He said, use scrutiny. Don't believe anything I say, use scrutiny. So that's
Mhm.
what I want to do also with astrology, is use scrutiny and really question the whole thing. Not because I don't feel it, but it's because I'm curious and I just don't want to accept some narrative that was given 1,000 years ago, and then we just like parrots repeat that stuff. I want to feel, I want to have the intuition about it. So that's what I'm saying. Is there some of us that are more intuitive than others according to the whole astrological
Yeah,
signs and stuff?
I think, everybody probably comes into this world with an inner knowing, subconsciously, and then others, tap into that as we go through life, right? We tap into that inner knowing, and then we're um curious, and then you start studying it. I think in order to completely, not even completely, because astrology is something you are always learning, you can't learn it all. But what I'm saying, I guess, is once you have that curiosity, then you dive into learning it, because it's a symbolic language. It's a language of symbols, and you have
That's
to
where I
know
want
what
to
each
go.
symbol
Yeah.
means in order to interpret any chart.
Because everything is well organized above. Like here in the winter, the Orion is very visible. It's super big in the sky to compared to my perspective where I observe. It's
Yeah.
gigantic, the whole thing. So there is a lot of stars in the sky. Now, from depending your point of observation, you don't see everything For sure. So how can I observe the whole sky from? Can you observe the whole sky and see everything that people talk about, all the constellation and all that stuff from one point, or I have to travel the Earth at other observational point to see other stuff, or from here, if I just stick my considering it's a clear sky all the time and I sit
Yeah.
outside all the time, every night, all night long, would I see something different? Because all I seen all winter was Orion in front of me.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
So
seasonal.
okay,
So, yep, the sky shifts with the seasons. And yes, Orion, we're in Minnesota, so Orion is huge for us too right now. It's
yeah,
like the most noticeable thing.
yeah,
Um, and then in the summer here, the Big Dipper, we call it, or Canis
yes,
Major, is
yes,
more noticeable in that, northern part of the sky. But yeah, you can observe the whole sky over the seasons, but not all at once because it's constantly, moving and shifting. That's how I understand it. I
yeah.
mean,
No, but for
yeah.
sure, if we observe it, it's moving in the sky. Like now, Orion was right here in front. Now it's more this way, like down there. Like it's almost
Mhm.
starting to disappear because the summer is coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So
then if you sit from sunset to sunrise, which most people don't, but if they were to, you can watch the constellations and the stars like shift from the east as they rise, and then all the way up and then to the west as they set each day. You can watch this, or night, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nick, you're brewing something for the last 5 minutes. There, I can feel it.
Yeah. Well, was thinking of something good to add to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, well, so for people that are still working it out and whatnot and wondering if astrology does affect you, well, the sun is the main planet in astrology. You look at your sun sign. Most people do that because it defines a lot of your characteristic. The sun is the core of your body, the corazon. It's the zone of the core of your personality, and it's sort of the sun god of this realm. It's the brightest, biggest one. So obviously that affects you, and is warm when it's beating down on you. That's a star affecting you. You can feel what astrology is doing to you if you're getting burnt by the sun. If it's dark out, you can feel what astrology is doing to you because the sun's not shining on you. You can feel an astrological transit if the sun is rising. It's on the
Plane.
the plane of inertia, the first house cusp, first and 12th house cusp, the horizon.
First and seventh. Oh, yeah.
Or
Sorry.
seventh. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the,
Yeah.
the, what is it called? This is the solstice, but it's different in the houses.
Right.
So you can see what astrology is doing for you. And it goes by the ecliptic too. And a lot of people are trying to read, that it's in the constellation. Well, the constellations shift 72 degrees, or 1 degree every 72 years. So you want to stick to what's stable. The ecliptic is behind the constellations, and it's a fixed sine wave that that the sun, moon, and the 7 planets wander along, and they zigzag.
yeah.
They go across the sine wave, and they go north and south from it about 20-30 degrees of the sky. It's like a band, and that's the sine wave.
And it's always in the when you're in the northern hemisphere, all these, like the sun, moon, and the 7 wandering planets, are always in the southern part of the sky. Like they can never go, like, how a Canis Major, the Big Dipper's in the northern part for
Yeah.
us, the main planets can never move beyond that, the zenith, like the highest point where the southern part of the sky and the northern part of the sky like meet.
Yeah. So yeah, here where we're a bit northern in America, The sun in the winter will be south of the sine wave in the sky, beyond the constellations. The sun will be southern, so in the winter in December, it's lower on the horizon.
Yeah.
This is south for us, so it's real low. Boop, boop. So that's because it has reached its peak declination from the center of this sine wave. So it's all the way at the bottom, 30 degrees south of it, and you can see that it's really low. It's really low in the southern sky, and then right on the equinox every year, it's in the dead center of that sine wave.
It's right on it.
So that would be March 20th and September 23rd.
Yeah.
The equinox. It's in the absolute center, and that's where the nights are equal. That means equal nights. 12 hours a day, 12 hours of darkness. So that's all astrological. And then when it's July, the summer solstice, it's all the way north declination on the center of that sine wave, or ecliptic. And then you can see it's way above your head in July.
Yeah.
And it does this crossing through it, hits the equinox, goes up, hits the solstice, cross back down each day, goes through a circle from a geocentric view. It's just a circle. But so that's one way to see that astrology.
No, it's the whole thing is really captivating, and you can really feel that there is something. And you said the sun has effect on us, definitely. I would like to extend a bit on the power of the sun, because the last time we were together, we were talking about solar power. Now, the solar power, you can harvest it, create electricity with it. You can grow plants. You can do anything with the power of the sun. So I would like maybe you to tell us, maybe from a medical astrology point of view, what's the benefit it has on us. Like, I don't want to go on Google and Google that stuff. I want you to tell me, because if it's creating electricity, if it's growing plants, once we expose ourselves, first of all, our eyes to the sun, they say there's a lot of some kind of vitamin D in this and stuff. Don't want to go into too much names here, but there is benefit to exposing yourself to the sun. Like, is there also benefit exposing ourselves to the moonlight at night? Like, especially in the summer when it's very hot, you like it because it's a bit colder. So is there an effect with the moonlight also on us, same as the sun? Like I said, the moon will probably cool us down and the sun will warm us up. So, but I'm sure there's something much beyond this. If the plant can transform that power into chlorophyll or something, I don't know. There's something happening in the plants to grow with the power of the sun, because no sun, I don't think they would even grow in darkness. So they would probably go limb fast. So I don't even think they would come out the ground. So there's something very powerful with the power of the sun. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, the first thing that came to my mind about the moon is, and being cooling, it is like if you go out with one of those like laser thermometer temperature takers and you measure the temperature at night when the moon is, visible, when it's let's say a full moon, because that gives off the most light. When you go outside and you take that temperature of the moonlight just pointed at the ground where the moonlight is shining, it's going to be colder than if you were to point it in the shade of the moonlight, like behind a tree or whatever. So the shade of the moon, and when you're in the shade, it's warmer than if you were in the moonlight. So it's definitely cooling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the moon is feminine and the sun's masculine. It's the two luminary deities of this realm. The two main male and female deities. The moon is the mom. It rules the minutes and the months. The sun is the dad, and it rules the hours. Horus, and the years.
Yeah, because that's when the sun, when you have a solar return, a sun return, that's your birthday. That's your year, your solar return.
Now,
So
if
the sun rules the year.
it's something weird, but if the sea is a mother, if the earth is a mother, and if the moon is a woman, like a woman, like the sea is a woman, because in French we say la mer, and la mer and mère is a mother. So if the sea is a woman, if the moon is a woman, and the earth is a woman, why don't we respect more the woman?
Because it's a patriarchal.
Yeah, Age of Pisces is a patriarchal period in the Iron Age, something like that. I think.
Yeah.
Iron is Mars. Mars rules iron. The mineral for Pisces is iron. The mineral for Leo is magnesium. The mineral for Scorpio is calcium sulfate. But the mineral for Pisces, we just left the Age of Pisces, still leaving it, is iron phosphate. And iron is the
Masculine.
mineral, is for Mars. War, iron swords. So yeah, patriarch.
So you're saying that we're gonna move into an age where women are gonna have their divinity really recognized? So that's what you're saying?
I think it's going to, yes, the feminine is going to be more recognized, but we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is a hermaphrodite. So it's not going to swing so far over to the feminine. I think it's going to bring it more into balance.
And then it's in the Bronze Age, which is mostly comprised of copper, which is feminine. So and then copper creates estrogen in the body, and there's a lot of people with unregulated, overbalanced amounts of copper and estrogen in their body.
Yeah, when you have varicose vein, I think it's due to a lack of copper. Often you said.
Yeah, and if there's a lack, it doesn't mean there's a lack. Period. It means there's a concentration somewhere, and then that's what the whole balance thing is. Depleted in one area and hyper concentrated in like the pituitary or whatever.
So, like I said before, if we're lost at sea, we want to find our way also with astrology. Where do someone start to dig? Like, it's vast. The topic is vast. There's, first of all, many stars. They all have effect on us. If the sun, the moon have effect, the stars do have effect on us also. Now, I think it's a grand orchestra up there, a grand design of stars meant to really have effect on human on Earth. But how do we relate to this? How do we start our search into astrology, into finding our way? Where do we start? Like someone that only read the horoscope and stuff and suddenly decide that he wants to dig deeper, find his higher self and find his purpose on earth, because I think it's all written up there. It's written somewhere, because the stars also keep the history. If they say, if you want to know about history, look up at the stars, because everything is recorded there. And they can predict the future. And it's, if you can predict eclipses like what just happened last Thursday, you can predict it. So you know what happened in the past. So the whole historical thing on Earth is written above. I think that it's not in books and Babylonian books that we're going to find the real history. That's his story now, our story. Can we talk about our story? I think it's written above. What do you think?
Yeah, well, and I think it's, to start with astrology, I think it's good to ground yourself, like with what I said in the sun and stuff like that, and the seasons, and then the moon too. Learn that, and the moon phases are just in relation to its aspect to the sun. So if the moon is exactly, look up and is exactly cut in half, that means it's exactly square the sun right now. It's 90 degrees to the sun. And if it's to the right or to the left side, I think you can figure out if the sun is
Oh,
square to the right or square to the left or prior in the sign or past. And if it's waxing, is growing or waning.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a full moon, that means the sun is exactly opposite the moon, 180 degrees. It's in opposition. If it's a new moon, 0 degrees, they're in the same degree.
Yep, they're
You can
right next to each other. That's why you can't see the moon when it's a new moon, because the sun is, because it's traveling with the sun, and so it's not in our night sky. The moon is with the day sky, and you can't see it because the sun outshines the moon.
so you're telling me that the shadow that we see on the moon, like sometimes me, it's really mysterious, that whole thing for me. I don't know nothing here. And I
Mhm.
see a shadow. I see the moon going from to full to sometimes it missing some parts of it because there's some kind of darkness in front of it. But you're telling me that this is caused by the sun?
Well, it's
Its position to the sun.
Its
Mhm.
position to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all its aspects to the sun out of, a 360-degree circle. What degree is it at from it? And if it's 90 degrees, a square, it's half.
It's going to
It's
create a
half. It
90
makes sense.
degree.
It
Yeah.
would be like right in that. And okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
that's
it's really important to observe the sky as well. And and then you can observe the sky, but you have to be careful because we study tropical, which is not like true sky. It goes with the sine wave, because true sky is what you see in the sky. Like, for
Yes.
instance, Jupiter is in Gemini in tropical. But if you look up at the sky right now, it's not in Gemini, it's in Taurus. You could see it in Taurus. So there's a little confusion with that. But true sky or Vedic is not considering the fact that the planets shift. What was it,
the
72?
constellations are moving. So you're going with, every 72 every 72 years, these constellations are moving.
The shifting.
Off, and off, and off, and off. And you want to go with the fixed sine wave. This is what the Egyptians talked about. This is what all the great astrologers talked about, was you read the ecliptic because it's never moving. Why would you read the constellations if it's constantly shifting? And the Vedic astrologers took off with that, I believe, because the Jesuits went straight to India in the 1500s, and I don't know when, but I don't know all about it. I don't even really want to talk about it, but I know that we do tropical, and tropical is remarkably accurate in so many aspects. Maybe Vedic is too. I don't know, but I do know I've been doing this for 13 years now, and tropical is.
Well,
For instance, if you take your son Takeo, he's born 4 degrees Libra. The second he was born, you could tell he was a Libra, because we can tell
eyes are like so wide.
wide set eyes, like all Libras, really, and huge foreheads. Bang. You can look at him. You can tell he's Libra with a Scorpio rising because the eyes go up. He looks like a bird, and he looks identical, and he's 4 degrees Libra. If that was in Vedic or True Sky, he wouldn't even be, his planets wouldn't be anywhere close to Libra. He'd be a Virgo.
And he doesn't look Virgo.
Doesn't look like a hermaphrodite Virgo at all. 100% Libra. And we've done this thousands of times. People with 1 degree Aries, where they're like fast, starting fights, all this, they would be full on Pisces. They're not these dreamy lost people. These guys are athletes, pro runners, triple backflipping gymnasts. That's not Pisces.
But the thing is like with both Vedic and tropical, they share the same houses. That's why Vedic is accurate in some ways, because no matter if you're using tropical or Vedic, your planet is still, your sun is going to still be in the same house, and the houses have a huge effect as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's 24 degrees off so far, but in 60 more years, it'll be 25 degrees off. So if you got something at the end of the sign in tropical, well, it'll also be in Vedic. So sometimes you have the same sign too. And that's another reason.
Like I do. I have the same sign in tropical and Vedic because my sun
so if she
is
was
at 24 degrees Taurus, and in Vedic it's at 0 degrees Taurus.
So if she was reading Vedic, she'd be like, wow, this is so true.
Yeah.
I am a musician. I do love to sing. I'm very Taurus. Some people are getting thrown off by that. But yeah.
So there's
it's a big
it's a kind of a controversy, but you know, to each their own. Both are accurate. We resonate with tropical.
That's it. No, I get that fully. Look, if it matches, like you said, if you follow what's fixed on the ecliptic, it should be making sense too. And whether for sure, if you go into Vedic astrology, I think they extrapolate a lot also outside of the constellation stuff that maybe the tropical astrologers study. Maybe it goes beyond, but again, where does all that stuff that they go beyond come from? Like, did someone came from above to give them the knowledge and stuff? Like, how do astrologers come to know everything that they know? Like,
I think it has something to do with the Akashic records, maybe.
Yeah, which come from the Golden Age. In the Golden Age, we were fully illuminated, had all of our senses. We could probably see and hear in a wider spectrum. We had huge records of books and all the stuff people worked out over lifetimes. People lived a lot longer. They probably have 400, 500, 600-year-long lives of studying. And they had crazy technology in the past where you can see electromagnetic spectrums coming from the skies. You can map out all the patterns of everything. It's just studying electromagnetics. Those are all electromagnetic bodies controlling the electromagnetics down here. Say I got sun on my, I don't know, whatever aspect it is, it's electromagnetics influencing you. Even Chiron in her throat would be an electromagnetic spectrum that's sort of inhibiting. It comes from the Golden Ages when they were way more
advanced,
super crazy advanced, and all their technology has been reset, erased. There could have been a giant plasma event that melted all their telescopes and technology and laser reading stuff. That's what I think. And then whatever's left is in the Akashic records, in the collective mind, and a little bit in that book. In those books, like in that Tibetan library, was there 84,000 books, and they only decoded 5% of them. It's all in books and libraries like that, stowed away underground, but from the Golden Ages. That's what I think.
That makes sense to me. I knew it come from somewhere. What you say makes a lot of sense to me, that it come from an age where we weren't eating popcorn and watching TV.
Like, yeah.
Literally, like if people have time on their hands, they're gonna go outside and observe. And if we're all in a golden age, in a place where we're all living in true coherency with what we should be as human, we are perfect fractal. It's just today the coherency is not there. Like sitting in front of a TV, it's not being human. It's not. I'm not saying a screen or whatever, but to be mesmerized by nonsense on TV all day long or whatever the time.
Yeah.
Like, if you consume the lies and deception, it's not very natural. You should consume light, truth, and love and all the good stuff to really bring up your vibration within you. And this makes a lot of sense that at one day in time, people were more advanced with their brain capability. Like they say also that we use, like, I don't know how many percent of our brain. Makes a lot of sense to me now, because a lot of people are stuck at McDonald's and shit like that. So it's not really good for a body. It's not optimal. So we're stuck in very low vibration. That's what I'm saying. So once we shift that low vibration to a higher vibration, like everything vibe high around you, except not talking to people, talking the trees and the rivers and the birds and the whatever, the squirrel, they're all on high vibration. So
even the plants, talking to the trees and the flowers.
Can you now measure the frequency of those uh, celestial bodies up there. I was gonna say planet. Those celestial bodies up there. Can you measure the frequency? Like you can feel often when you go beside someone. Like when I enter a room, they know it. They know because I'm a different vibration, different energy, different thing. So there's something different about me. Like I'm sure there's something different also about you. Like people that are on high vibration, you can feel that stuff. So can we feel what's more suited for our high vibration in the stars and really relate to that? Like finding our path to our higher self and our purpose here on earth. We all have a purpose, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might look into yourself first, but at one point, when you start looking into yourself and you find something, you're kind of like, okay, where does that come from? Am I guided to do this? Or, like you said the other day, Gemini, like I'm 1st of June, uh, there's a lot of podcasters that are Gemini. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's not a random thing that I'm here. So now I feel even better with the mission. It
Yeah.
just comes and because there's not too many human that's gonna come at your door and cheer for you once you're on the mission to find your higher self because it's easier to pull someone down than to bring them up. So most people like to pull you down with them and stuff. So you might feel lonely at one point into that journey of rediscovering yourself. That happened to me. So maybe the stars, if I confirm what I feel with the stars, maybe I'll feel less lonely. That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, it gave me more confidence in my purpose. One thing you can look at if you want to get into details of a chart, you can look at the North Node. It's the symbol shaped as a horseshoe.
Yeah.
And you can look at that and see where it's placed, what sign, what house, if there's any aspects, if it's, close to another planet or celestial body, whatever you want to call it. And that will help you see what your purpose is
And
because it's your destined path. The North Node is.
it's your destiny path.
Hmm. And it's the
So
harder path. Because the
because
South Node is like your comfort zone, which is exactly opposite the North Node, always in everyone's chart. It's always North Node, South Node are exactly opposite. South Node's your comfort zone, what you came into this realm knowing, feeling comfortable with. Um, so you have to step away from your South Node and move towards your North Node, which might not be so comfortable.
at the beginning.
At the beginning, yes.
No, because the path to evolution is a bit for sure rocky at times, but I think once you have find great guidance, maybe I look up often for guidance. I ask for guidance within myself, and maybe that sense of intuition get expanded with time also. Like the more serious you take yourself, your life here on earth, I guess the forces up there will give you more serious support and guidance. That's how I feel. But you got to be
Yeah.
serious about that. And that's what I
Hmm.
said the other day. The problem with us is we don't take life seriously. We think it's a freaking joke all the time, and we're here to play games and watch TV. Like, what is that? That's not being serious about life. Being serious about life is also, yeah, inquiring about your own destiny. And you said look at the North Node. The North Node, you said, will give you your destiny path. Maybe also it help you take better decision because I always say that destiny is decision in practice. Look,
Hmm.
so can you take better decisions looking at the stars and making sense of your whole birth chart and stuff? Can it bring someone to because often we're very confused with the decision we take here because of the confusion around us. So maybe turning to the stars and letting us guide us through our journey here, maybe we would not, like you say, feel comfortable at one point into this journey also.
Yeah, there is free will. Yes, the stars they're guiding us, but you can choose whether you want to move towards the virtuous side, I like to say, or the vice side. Each star, planet, celestial body has virtuousness and vices, and it's up to us which direction we want to move into.
So, is there stars that can have negative effect on you? Like, there's positive, negative, there's yin and yang, and it's always like that here on Earth, the positive, negative. Anyway, there's
Yeah,
always one north node, south nodes, like you said. But yeah, exactly. Is there something that negative up there, or it's all
Yeah.
positive what you sense
no,
from astrology?
no,
The,
it's
uh,
uh,
the malefics are
yeah,
more likely to cause negative interactions in
or
your life.
challenges. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the malefics are Mars,
Which would be like
There
anger.
we go. Mars is
Saturn.
also wars. If you turn the N,
Yeah,
it gives you wars.
Yeah, you'll be starting
exactly.
wars with everyone because it should be passion, which would be the virtue, but you're
Mhm.
misguiding that passion into every situation, and it turns into a forceful, aggravating war. And you bring that war energy into everything, where it could be this delicately guided passion, and then it'll just be this extra force you can apply to everything if you're good with it. They're harder to manage, the malefics,
Mhm.
but they will probably provide more result in the end. But it's more of a challenge to work with.
Yeah.
Saturn.
Saturn is can bring like restriction, but it's the great teacher. Yeah, the master. Saturn is the where you have mastery.
Yeah, and it comes through. It's the planet of discipline and
Mhm.
time and work. So people don't really like discipline, time, and work. It's not a greater benefic. It's not a benefic. It's considered a malefic, which means a bad doer. Mal means bad. And then Mal, L and R interchangeable. Mal means Mars, so that's why Mar and Mal and male. And they got the Mars symbol on the door.
For the
Mayo,
male bathroom.
Mars means
Mayo, you
male,
said?
means malik, means malefic, means male, means bad boy, means Mars.
Mhm.
They have mayonnaise too.
I bet, yeah.
Mayonnaise is not that good for you, especially with the oil they use. But that you said mayo or something.
Male, like male and female.
Oh, meal.
Male.
Okay,
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
mayo. I'm like,
Mayo.
yeah, mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
uh,
all the
Uh-huh.
bad stuff.
Eh,
Good
but I'm
girls like
sure it
bad
has
boys.
something to do. I'm sure you look at the root of the word mayonnaise, it's probably not that great. Same like here in Canada, we have the mayonnaise hell men's. Like it's men's
yeah,
hell.
right. Same
It's
here,
not
yeah.
hell men's. They spelled it wrong. It's man's hell. So maybe the
Wow.
word itself, that's why I'm saying, that's why I brought it up. You said, because it's
Wow.
not random that they call it hell men's. It's men's hell. Yeah. Stupid freaking boys in there. Anyway,
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah.
now what happened this last Thursday was huge. I've seen it here. The moon became red. Like, what is that? I go, what's happening there? Like,
So
it's very mysterious, this whole thing. I don't buy what mainstream says. I don't need
yeah, so mainstream says that it's the Earth shadow because and it could make
what's the
sense in
last.
some way because the sun is
Yeah, they
opposing the full moon and then
figured
the
out how
Earth's
to.
shadow is like covering the moon. But it always happens, eclipses always happen, no matter if it's a solar or a lunar, partial or full, whatever it may be. Actually, the full ones happen when it's near the north or south node. So we're thinking that it's some like the north and south node they say they aren't like physical objects in the sky, that they're just a point in the sky, like a calculated mathematical point, like the nodes of the moon, they're called.
Yeah.
But there's something going on where because the full eclipses always happen on the north or the south node.
And they never mentioned that. And it's like 70 times we've tracked it back, and then it'd be forever,
Yeah.
Every time. It's not like we just checked it the last 2 times. It's like
Yeah, you can go in there fear
it's
miss.
always on the north node of the north moon, on the north node or the south node. Every single time it happens to be right on it, and and there's a lot going on, like for it to be exactly, in the same degree.
But they were close this time, so we're still trying to figure that out exactly how it works, because the eclipse was at almost 24 degrees, like 2350 something, in Virgo, and then the south node was 27 degrees Virgo, so it was a few degrees away, but still close enough. Like, who knows how big this supposed physical object of the south node is?
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's translucent. It's like a
orb. Because it doesn't block it out completely, right? You can still see the moon.
Yeah, but that was K2, the dragon's tail.
Yeah, K2.
Yeah, Rahu and K2 and those things.
Rahu is north node and K2 is south node.
Now the moon went red, but I saw the moon go blue too. So now we have a red shift, blue shift in the moon. So is that the only color that she takes, red and blue? Because we all say also, one's in a blue moon. Yeah, no, it does exist, the blue moon. We see it blue sometimes.
The blue moon.
What makes the moon take those kind of color, you think?
Yeah, I think it has to do with the position it is in the sky. Like, sometimes it's even orange. Like, if it's close to the horizon, as it's rising, it's like this orangey color. And it generally seems to happen in the fall, from my observations. And then as far as like once in a blue moon, that's actually not necessarily relating to the color of the moon. It's when there's 2 full moons, I think it is 2 full moons in 1 month cycle.
Then the moon will turn blue.
But because you're saying you can see it physically blue.
Right.
The traditional naming of it.
Right.
For why it would pure blue, well, it could be in relation to the declination of the sun. So, like she said, the moon turns a bit orange when the sun is in Libra or Virgo in September. Well, and when the sun, at that point in time, the sun is more in the center of the ecliptic, 0 degrees declination. So lower, but not too low. So then it could cast an orange vibe over to the sun. And then as far as it being blue, it would just be different chromatic electromagnetic orientations and spectrums and reflections, whatever degree, waxing, waning, and an association to the sun or something, make it look blue. I
wonder if it's when it's in, now I'm going to observe this more, the colors of the moon, especially blue. I'm wondering if it's when it's in Taurus, and because it's Venus, and Venus is really blue.
Blue shift.
Because that blue and red is everywhere. And even I'm thinking when I was young, I used to watch the Strumpf. The Strumpf were red and blue. Like everything's red and blue, and the moon goes red and blue and stuff. No, it's very. Now, when it was red Thursday, was it more hot? Like, does it block? Like, does she become hotter? Like, is she a hot woman on that day? Like, there is women that are hot.
Well, I know I personally was
from my man perspective, there is women that are hot. So the moon became really hot. Like, I don't know, what is that stage? Like, is she preparing for something? Like, I don't know. And also, I would like you to explain me also, maybe from your perspective, why very often we see the moon and the sun in the same sky. That's really weird. And daytimed. There's something I really have a hard time to grasp is the moon rise and moon set. The time they gave me on my phone, sometimes I look and moon rise, moon set. What is all this? I'm really lost into this, honestly. Why is the moon there in the daytime?
Okay, it's simple.
Not always there, but some days she'll be there like till 12. till noon you're gonna see the moon. I'm
Yeah.
like, hello, what are you doing there? You not supposed to come at night?
No, it's a constant cycle depending upon where it's positioned to the sun, which we talked about before. Like when it's, let's say it's in its waxing phase, as it's
Growing from a
as
new
it's
moon.
growing, and so it's getting further and further away from the sun. Once I don't know the exact degree, but once it hits a certain point when you can see that little crescent, even during the day,
Yeah.
right? That's when it's pretty close to the sun, but not so close where the sun's too bright that you can't see the moon. But yeah,
So
and
because
the
at
moon
one
moves so fast.
because
1
at one
degree every
point
2
it
hours.
seems to just disappear too from the sky. Like the other day, I was looking at it. I was on the bike path and constantly looking at it, and I was waiting for it to disappear. And so at one point, just disappear. Like
It could have waxed into the sun's combustion rays. Is that what it's called? When
Yeah.
the sun's rays outshine the luminescence of the moon.
Yep.
And if it's waxing, it's
because of
Yeah.
the positioning, the degree, like you explained. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and the moon moves really fast. It moves 1 degree of arc through the sky per hour, or per 2 hours.
Yep.
For 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, so I see these posts on Facebook and it just makes me laugh because they're like, the moon's out during the day. I've seen the moon out during the day ever since I was a little child. I guess I was just more
yeah.
like
You had a big sky over
observational.
there. It was like an old lake bed.
Yeah,
in the
that grew up in the country.
Most people are in the cities.
Yeah, so and the moon's always been out during the day, depending upon where it is in position to the sun.
People are just placing their mind on the sky because it's the age of Aquarius, which
Yeah.
is the sign that rules astrology. So
And it's
astrology
beautiful.
is gonna expand in this age. It's the sign of astrology, astronomy, looking up the sky.
Hmm.
But I think us also becoming more natural. We're going to more natural ways to treat our bodies. So of your, good mental health. The stars are part of it. Like understanding the stars is important. It's part of the realm we are in. So no, to me, it's very important to have a look at it, observe it.
Yeah, and then it feels so good. Like no matter if you're looking at the night sky or just looking up
Oh.
in general, like just that stretch, right? Because we're always, most of the time, like sitting here looking down on our phone.
Yeah.
We're always looking down, looking it up. Look it up, and then you're looking down. What a freaking conundrum that is. I don't know. Look it up. And
so maybe it's like actually saying, okay, just look up.
Yeah,
then,
but looking it up on the phone is the same because all search engines use astrological algorithms. The algorithmic programming coding software is actually astrological in search engines. So when you're looking it up, you're actually looking at a astronomical configuration because the coding in the search engine is the same as the star systems.
Huh.
No, it's very true. That's it. Now, the spiritual growth. People talk about, maybe we can finish with that exactly our higher self, our spiritual growth would be linked to also the stars. They're like, we're here to grow. Like, we should not play childish games no more. We're all adult here. We should grow. So that's part of the growth is spiritual growth. I see a lot like reaching your higher self, like I was explaining. So maybe the stars also can boost us in that direction. I think anyone would want to have a greater sense of themselves. And I think the stars can help us, the whole astrology thing, to help us have a greater sense of ourselves. That's all I want to say. But maybe you want to develop on this. Develop. I don't like that word. Devil up. Like what is that? What I just said. You want to build up on it? Here, that's better.
Yeah.
Build up, not develop. We're not here to praise the devil. So yeah, it sounds like devil up. Like you want to develop on it? Like no.
Yeah, development.
Build up
Yeah.
and building also. Building is should be happening inside. The build. We build building on the outside, but maybe we should build the inside. That's why it's called the building and building. Yeah.
Taurus is the sign of building, and it's the bull,
Oh, bring it on, bring it on. Come on.
Mhm.
and it's the mineral kingdom, which are constantly building and growing.
Yeah, crystals, how
And
they
it's the
just
and
keep
it's
growing.
and it's the sign where the moon is building and waxing because it exalts in Taurus. Sun exalts in Aries, and when it passes it, it's building the moon.
Yeah.
Taurus is all about building, but you're a Taurus, so do you want to?
Oh yeah. I guess, we're all on our own journey and we all have that free will to choose whether we want to grow or not. And there's no judgment. Like humans are not here to judge other humans on where they are in their journey. Everyone is, learning what they need to learn. And
Yeah.
it's, yeah, we just can't
And,
judge because we, at
and
some
why I
point,
have you here because I want to have different perspective. And
yeah.
okay, I might not have studied in depth what you have studied, but I'm interested into it. So definitely, it's something you have thoughts that are worth sharing. I say if you have shareable thoughts, share them. So we can all grow and expand and find our way into this great realm that we're in. Definitely, it's
Mhm.
something we should all embrace is being alive, and being alive to me comes with questioning. We're on a quest. I've been put on earth to quest something. Like there's something very grandiose in front of me, which is the earth, the sky, and all that. And when I look at the sun, I'm so like warm and you feel like the sun gives you also that comfort that and the comfortable. That's just to tell us also that we should be very comfortable with light. Light is warm, it's comfortable. But when you go into darkness, sometimes it's colder. So maybe we should focus more on bringing inside us the power of the sun. That's what I'm telling. So we can
Mhm.
really exhibit that light also. I think we all have it inside of us. You said that's the core, the middle is
Mhm.
the sun. The heart is the
The heart.
heart related to the sun.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, the sun rules the heart chakra.
So, does someone that exhibit more a light being characteristic will have a better heart, less chance? Why do people have heart attack? I know it has to
Mm.
do with something in the vein, something in the blood, maybe the vessel contract, or
Too much restriction, not enough play. The Leo and the heart and the fifth house and the sun is all about having a little bit of play and wiggle room. It's the sign of play, like acting, doing a play where you can relax, and the sun makes you relaxed. All
yeah,
those things that I just named, the sun, Leo, fifth house, they're all magnesium, which makes you loose, relax, have a little bit of play. If you have too much sun, it's rigidity, rigor mortis, Saturnalia, which is the opposite of the sun. Saturn's calcium. You get Saturnalia disease, which you freeze up, you solidify, you calcify, and that's how people die. And that's the end of life. Saturn rules the end of life. You get cold and slow and calcified.
yeah. Like I think it's Celine Dion as the stiff syndrome. What is
Yes.
that?
Mhm.
She became like stiff or something. I heard about it, and
Mm.
she can you like look at medical astrology and cure yourself from certain stuff that happened to you. Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
maybe not a heart attack, but you can maybe
No,
prevent it, the heart
you
attack.
can prevent it for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, definitely.
And
And then
Maybe
can
even
some
symptoms, even after like this, let's say you have a heart attack and you're struggling with symptoms still from it, you can work on that too. It doesn't have to be forever, like some people lose their whatever side working. You can work through that. You just have to know through medical astrology what things are going to help.
and I think it's proven that look, we're not just talking out of our hat today about medical astrology. I think there is something there definitely, like as above, so below. If there's a medicine down here, there should be medicine up there. So maybe the medicine up there is not necessarily a plant or cannabis plant, but
They are though, like the medicine.
there is medicine, yeah, and
Yeah,
there is
because
doctors up there. That's what I'm saying.
there's what?
There is doctors up there.
Yeah,
Right.
well, we're all it's the origins of us. It's the start. We all emanate from that electromagnetic light body. That's why they're called stars, because it's the start of all the energy.
Yeah,
It's cast down into this hologram down here. That's like the projector, freaking real in the sky. Is constantly changing scenes and projecting through different holes and stuff and making different illusions down here. The Maya, the light illusion. And that's the start. That's the start of it. So you go up to there. What's about to project next down and change the scene? How's the theme going to change? We'll look up on the reel. What's coming on the reel to the projector? Oh, it's a war scene. All right, now we can prepare protections for the war scene coming. Stuff like that.
Or
Oh.
you can see like maybe something's going to be going through your sixth house in your own personal chart, which sixth house represents illness. So you can prepare for that and prevent a potential illness.
Can you also have a like there's birth chart, but can we have access to our death chart? Can we know when we die and of what?
That's a good question. I'm
Like,
super curious about this too.
It would be days that you would probably close to death.
I
And
don't
if not, a
think-
part of you would die.
Right. Yep. I don't know if you can. Myself
We've
personally
looked
can't
at it,
predict a death date, but
Pretty hard.
you can look, and then what?
Saturn returns. People die on their Saturn returns. 30, 60, 90, 120. People don't
Mhm.
live past 20. They die on their fourth Saturn return, or they die at 90. You know, that's their third Saturn
Or
return.
60.
A lot of people die at 60. Saturn's endings. When Saturn is conjunct the Saturn in your birth chart, which it conjuncts it every 29 years, starting the day you're born, that's a stressful day because Saturn's a malefic and has to do with cutting, severing, endings. Saturn's the crown chakra, the Grim Reaper. Cut your crown chakra, Saturn comes in, you're done.
Yep. And then if you look at the symbol of Saturn, it's a sickle, like the
Yeah.
Grim Reaper
'Cause it
carries the
rules-
sickle.
Because it rules cycles. It rules
Mhm.
cycles of time. Saturn rules time in this realm. It's the timekeeper. The cycles. That's why they say it's the sickle. They just changed it.
And you can
Well,
also
we changed it.
You can also look at Pluto, which is death and transformation. Yeah, your physical body might not die during a Pluto transit, but you'll definitely have some sort of ego death or something in your
Psyche.
life will die off.
Your
Mhm.
psyche.
Oh, I'm sure there is
Mhm.
something probably also maybe also when I say death chart, I'm thinking more not so much physical death, but your death that you should have here in order to find your journey to be reborn. Because
Yeah.
we all before we find our true purpose, you're gonna die inside. You're gonna let go of a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff will die within you, and you will be reborn to a new you. That's what happened to me. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm here.
One
TruMon show.
one- Yeah. One
So-
thing that you can look at, I know we're probably running out of time, but is the Pluto square Pluto. When everyone has that at some point. And for me, that was a huge death for like my own personal self. Like it was a huge transformation for me. My moon, my personal natal moon is conjunct my Pluto. And so when the Pluto in the sky was squaring my Pluto, it was also squaring my moon. So for me, it was like just this really emotional. It lasted almost 3 years. It was like that dark night of the soul. Yeah. So everyone has it.
And die is just the prefix divide. It means to separate, to
Yeah.
divide. And that's Saturn cutting
Mm.
it, and Mars too. The other malefic also has to do the cutting and dividing. Dying and deathing, you look at Saturn and Mars because it's just when you divide a thing from a thing, that part of you died,
Mhm.
stuff
So
like
that's
that.
why they're obsessed with creating an illusion about sending people to Mars. Like, because they want us at war with ourselves also. It's a
Oh
war
my God,
on us.
Mars of all
Wow.
the
Yeah, why would you
planets.
want to go to Mars?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why aren't we?
Why not
Why
Venus?
not pretend to freaking spend all of our tax money on playing on Venus?
Or even Mercury. That's closer than Mars.
yeah.
Venus looks
And you look
so
at it, no matter what
brilliant.
telescope
you
you look
know.
in, and it's this
Yeah.
freaking moving water plasma body. It's not a freaking.
It's not physical.
It's all shots in Arizona and deserts and stuff. Everyone's like, "Hey, I know that freaking landscape. That's in Arizona."
Yeah.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we pretty much covered what I wanted to check with you today and look at them. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm going back on a bike path. Beautiful day. It's 15 degrees, so it's
Nice.
still middle of March. It's good for here in Quebec. So usually
We're having a
we're-
blizzard here.
It was nice. In the
Oh,
last
yeah.
2 days, we woke up and the sky was perfectly blue, crystalline, crystal ball blue.
the last few
and then,
days.
why is all these planes going around with these crazy trails behind them? And then all of a sudden, all these trails turned into clouds 3 days in a row. And then it was the craziest, weirdest storm where it's rained 2 inches of ice and 4 inches of snow.
Yeah.
And 60 miles an hour of wind during all this. Weird.
That's a lot of wind. That's a blizzard. So it's
Yeah.
happening now. You're in the
It's happening
blizzard?
now, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's
Mhm.
not the case here. Beautiful sunshine, blue
Yeah.
sky, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go take in the light. I'm not afraid. I don't wear sunglasses too. This is something so. I see it so much into a lot of people that they're outside, beautiful sunshine. We haven't seen the sun pretty much all winter. Boom,
Wow.
sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
And the power of the sun, we can deny the power of the sun. So, and also the light entering our eyes. So, please, if you are one of those outside with shades and stuff, take them off for your own benefit.
Yeah.
Take the light in. Don't be afraid of the light. But
Yeah, it might be intense at first because you're so used to that darkness,
Give it 3
right?
days, yeah.
But your eyes do adjust. So yes, take
Yeah,
off
and
the sunglasses, the shades.
yeah, and especially in the winter, it's so much more brilliantly because of the snow. Like if it's a sunny day in the winter, you almost get blinded by the
Blinding.
light. I freaking love it. I love it.
Yeah, just
I
learn
love
to
that.
use your eyelashes and eyelids a little bit at first. Come on.
That's it. So that's it for today, and a large up once again, Nick and Crystal for coming here on the TruMon Show episode. What is it? 452. Wow, I've been here for a while,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna retire anytime soon. You're gonna still see me here. So
Yeah.
maybe we, depending on our schedule, we'll see for next Saturday if you're available. I'm sure I have other stuff I can bring on. But
Yeah, maybe we can talk more about how each person looks like their signs, and you can tell. And then
Yeah.
for people listening and stuff like that, we do readings too. So if you want a reading from us, whatever, go
Yeah.
around. crystalclearcompass.com is our site.
Yeah.
But there's
Oh, I
links.
love
There's
your
links in
site.
the description. Yeah.
And I love your site. I went on it, and I even looked for the Baja gold salt. My wife was looking at it, but it's pretty expensive on Amazon. Like it's something there's a price tag on it. But
Yeah, it's worth
like-
it though. Anything that's
Yeah,
going to be
exactly.
better is obviously going to cost more. But yep.
yeah, no, I mean that's often why people retract from that kind of stuff because hey,
I
I'm gonna have to
know.
spend money. But
We have to invest in ourselves though.
exactly, it's an investment. That's how I see it. So I'll probably buy it definitely. Anyway, how much salt do you need per day? Like.
It lasts a month.
It lasts a long
For
time.
both of us,
yeah.
and we use a lot.
Mhm.
But that's it. So I'm not worried. It's gonna last a long time. So that's it. We're out, and much love. It's all love.
Yep.
Yep.
Always.
Bye.
Good. See ya.
See ya.
Boom.